I've lived here since the late 90s. Yeah, so I
Right.
lived in New York for a little while, and then I didn't work. When I got to America, I didn't work for like 4 years.
Picture this, a 50,000 square foot life stretched across film sets, DJ booths, and boardrooms. From the gritty streets of Hackney to the world's biggest stages, Idris Elba isn't just a man. He's a movement. He's the man who can silence a room with a single line, then fill an arena with one beat. To the world, he's the smooth-talking superstar. But behind the fame lies something deeper: discipline, resilience, and relentless ambition. He didn't just rise to fame, he built it brick by brick, turning struggle into sophistication and passion into power. Because Idris Elba isn't just living the dream, he's designing it. From Hackney streets to Hollywood suites. He didn't just build fame, he built freedom. If you could live one of Idris's lives, the movie star, the DJ, or the businessman, which would you choose? Before the fame, before the flashing cameras and luxury cars, there was Hackney, a corner of East London that raised dreamers through struggle. It was here, in 1972, that Idrissa Akuna Elba was born to hardworking immigrant parents. His father, Winston, from Sierra Leone, a factory worker at Ford Dagenham. His mother, Eve, from Ghana, a clerical worker who kept the home alive with faith and warmth. Growing up, Idris wasn't surrounded by glamour. He was surrounded by grit. The cold London air, the smell of oil and metal from his father's job, the hum of reggae and soul from neighborhood sound systems, all of it shaped his rhythm long before he touched a camera or a turntable. He wasn't the loudest in the room, but he was the most observant. The boy who watched people closely, their mannerisms, their emotions, their stories. That silent study would later become one of his greatest tools as an actor. But in those early years, life was anything but easy. Idris worked odd jobs to help out tire shops, moving boxes, setting up sound equipment, and when the work dried up, he turned to what he loved most: music. On weekends, he'd spin records at weddings and small clubs under the name Big Dries the Londoner. It wasn't fame, but it was expression, a spark that reminded him he was destined for more. Those were the hungry years, the kind where ambition couldn't pay rent and dreams couldn't fill your stomach. There were nights when Idris slept in his car, nights when he wondered if this was all just a fantasy, but he refused to fold. While others saw struggle, he saw training. Every rejection a rehearsal for greatness. Kept auditioning, kept hustling. Between casting calls, he'd DJ to survive. Between rejections, he'd visualize the life he wanted, one where he could tell stories that mattered. Then came the call that changed everything. Not from London's West End, but from across the Atlantic America. A casting director had seen his audition tape. A new HBO series was looking for an actor who could embody calm menace, intelligence, and street wisdom all at once. The role was Stringer Bell in The Wire. It was his moment, but also his test. When he arrived in the US, nobody knew his name. Nobody cared about his accent, his past, or his charm. He was just another actor chasing a dream. But Idris knew this was more than a role. It was his entry into history. And when The Wire aired, the world noticed. Critics called his performance magnetic, a perfect balance of intellect and intimidation. Idris Elba had arrived, and suddenly, the world wanted to know who this man from East London really was. From the corners of Hackney to the streets of Baltimore, Idris had crossed an ocean of struggle and landed in the spotlight. But instead of slowing down, he pushed harder. Every set, every role became a new challenge, a new way to prove that greatness isn't inherited, it's earned. His story wasn't about luck. It was about loyalty to himself, his craft, and his roots. Because even as he stood under the Hollywood lights, Idris never forgot the sound of Hackney. The voices, the rhythms, the hunger that made him who he was. If your dreams demanded everything: your comfort, your home, even your sleep, would you still chase them like Idris did? His big break wasn't in London's West End. It came from a phone call across the Atlantic. From the dimly lit streets of Hackney to the gritty alleyways of Baltimore, Idris Elba's career took flight in a way few could have predicted. By 2002, The Wire changed everything. As Stringer Bell, he balanced intellect with menace, magnetic, measured, unforgettable. Not the typical villain, Bell was methodical, intelligent, commanding, and utterly compelling. Through the lens of David Simon's Streets, Idris brought depth, subtlety, and nuance to a character that could have easily been one-dimensional. Audiences watched, mesmerized. Critics lauded his performance. The world began to see that this was not just a rising star. It was a force of nature. Every gesture, every gaze, every silenced word carried weight. And yet, while the world celebrated his on-screen brilliance, Idris was quietly plotting the next chapter of his empire. Hollywood soon beckoned, and Idris answered. From playing Nelson Mandela, embodying courage, dignity, and heart to Luther, the brooding detective who carried the weight of London's shadows on his shoulders, he showcased an extraordinary versatility. Big-budget blockbusters like Fast and Furious Presents, Hobbs and Shaw and Thor expanded his global reach, proving he could navigate both gritty realism and high-octane fantasy with equal ease. But acting was only part of his blueprint. Producing and directing became his tools to claim autonomy. Idris carefully chose projects, blending commercial success with personal significance. Each role, each production, each collaboration reflected not just talent, but strategic acumen. Every decision was a step toward building a kingdom beyond the camera. Accolades followed. Golden Globe wins, Emmy nominations, recognition on the Time 100 list. But the trophies, the praise, the headlines were not his ultimate currency. The real triumph was consistency, resilience, and the ability to transform his name into a brand synonymous with excellence, sophistication, and influence. But even as the world crowned him a Hollywood king, Idris was quietly building a kingdom of his own, far from the spotlight. While cameras flashed, contracts signed, and fans cheered, he was laying the foundation for ventures that would span music, fashion, and entrepreneurship. From nightclubs to luxury festivals, Idris leveraged his love for music and nightlife into a secondary empire. DJing as DJ Big Drees, he brought his unique energy to global audiences, connecting storytelling, rhythm, and persona in ways few entertainers dare. Each gig was more than performance. It was networking, branding, and crafting a lifestyle image that seamlessly intertwined with his cinematic identity. Through it all, one truth remained constant. Idris Elba does not chase fame. Fame follows him. Every role, every project, every business move has been intentional, a calculated strategy to expand his reach, influence, and autonomy. It's this combination of artistry, grit, and vision that makes his journey not just inspiring, but instructive for anyone aiming to convert talent into legacy. If you had the chance to balance multiple empires like Idris acting, DJing, and entrepreneurship, which path would you take first, and why? In London, he's reportedly based in minimalist luxury, expansive windows, curated art, and space to think. In Los Angeles, a modern residence doubles as a creative lab, music room, private screenings, work that blurs into life. In West Africa, he often retreats to coastal peace, a connection to heritage and renewal. On his wrist, he's often seen in high-end pieces from houses like Hublot and Patek Philippe. Time is craft, not just status. Halfway across the Atlantic, his Los Angeles residence embodies modern elegance and versatility. A sleek music studio hums with beats yet to be released, while the private screening room hosts premieres of his own productions and favorite cinematic inspirations. The home is both a playground and a workshop, a space where the lines between leisure, craft, and business blur seamlessly. Each corner of the villa reflects discipline and sophistication, a quiet declaration that success is measured not by noise, but by the environment you curate for yourself. Closer to the roots of his heritage, Idris maintains a tropical retreat in Ghana. This estate is more than a luxury escape. It is a celebration of identity and legacy. The rhythm of waves mirrors the rhythm of life he grew up with, a grounding force amidst the whirlwind of fame. Here, he reconnects with his African lineage, investing not only in real estate, but in community, culture, and personal restoration. Every stay is a reminder that the truest luxury is freedom, the freedom to honor one's past while building the future. His taste in automobiles is equally intentional. The Bentley Continental GT is a nod to understated elegance. The Range Rover SV Autobiography balances performance with poise. And the Mercedes-AMG G63 roars with audacity. Each car is more than metal and horsepower. It is a symbol of milestones achieved, challenges overcome, and a life curated with precision. Timepieces are another language in his luxury vocabulary. As a Hublot ambassador and avid collector of Patek Philippe, Idris treats each watch as a statement of craft, patience, and legacy. They are reminders that time is the most valuable currency one earned, invested, and spent with intention. Style extends beyond architecture and cars. Bespoke suits, streetwear collaborations, and a high-end fragrance brand are all threads in his carefully woven public persona. Every choice, from cufflink to sneaker, tells the story of a man who navigates both the formal elegance of Hollywood and the dynamic energy of music and nightlife. He dresses not to impress the world, but to honor the journey from Hackney to the global stage. Every piece of luxury is a reflection of the boy who learned to dream in color. Every home, car, and wardrobe choice carries the weight of history and the vision of the future. Luxury for Idris is never simply about wealth. It is a testament to resilience, intention, and balance. But the man behind the suits, the supercars, and the private estates isn't just living large, he's living balanced. Every decision, every acquisition, and every space curated reflects the philosophy that true luxury is freedom, purpose, and the ability to live life on your own terms. If you had Idris's success, would you spend it on luxury or invest it in legacy? When the lights fade and the cameras turn off, Idris Elba steps into a life built on peace, partnership, and purpose. After years of on-screen chaos and high-octane roles, he found balance in love, and her name is Sabrina Dower Elba. A Somali-Canadian model, humanitarian, and entrepreneur, she didn't just walk beside him, she matched his stride. Together, they became more than a celebrity couple. They became a brand of grace and strength, proof that fame doesn't have to fracture love. Their 2019 wedding in Morocco wasn't a spectacle, it was poetry. A union of two worlds, African roots, Western fame, and timeless elegance. But beyond the glamour, there's a quiet partnership. Together, they co-founded Sable Labs, a lifestyle and wellness company born from their shared belief in balanced luxury that nourishes, not just impresses. Through Sable Labs, they're crafting a new definition of success, one that smells like self-care and feels like intention. It's their response to a world that often celebrates burnout over balance. Behind the fame, Idris is also a father fiercely private, deeply devoted. 2 children, 2 legacies. His daughter Eason and son Winston. He shields them from the spotlight, preferring their childhoods to be normal, grounded, and free from the weight of celebrity. To him, parenting isn't about perfection. It's about presence. "I just want my kids to know peace before pressure," he once said. When he's not acting, he's spinning records under the name Big Dries, the DJ alter ego, who reminds the world that Idris isn't just an actor, he's an artist in every sense. His DJ sets at Ibiza, London, and private events across the globe are more than music, they're expressions of freedom, rhythm, and reinvention. But even in the chaos of fame, Idris keeps a strict discipline. Early mornings, workouts, writing sessions, quiet reflections. Fitness isn't vanity for him, it's therapy. Meditation keeps him grounded. Boxing keeps him focused. And stillness, that's his true luxury. He once said, "Peace is expensive, I protect mine like it's gold." And in a world that constantly demands more, Idris learned to find value in saying no. Because the man who once chased fame now chooses peace. The boy who dreamed of London stages now wakes up to ocean views and gratitude. His private life is not a secret. It's a sanctuary, a space built not of walls and wealth, but of love, rhythm, and reflection. Behind the red carpets and roaring applause, Idris found his real treasure stillness. If you had Idris Elba's life for a day, would you spend it on stage, behind the decks, or off the grid with the ones you love? When the world sees Idris Elba, they often see the movie star, the action hero, the suave gentleman in tailored suits. But behind that global image stands something far more enduring. A man committed to rebuilding the bridge between opportunity and origin. He's not just an actor, he's an advocate, and his stage now stretches across the world. As a UNIFAD Goodwill Ambassador, Idris advocates for rural youth and sustainable livelihoods, while he and Sabrina support entrepreneurs and farmers through initiatives and partnerships. Alongside his wife, Sabrina Daure Elba, he co-founded initiatives that tackle food insecurity, climate change, and economic imbalance. Through the Elba Foundation and collaborations with the UN, they've helped empower small-scale farmers, support African entrepreneurs, and amplify women's voices in leadership. Their work isn't charity, it's legacy engineering. They believe in equipping, not rescuing, in building sustainable systems, not momentary spotlights. While many chase fame, Idris chose impact. He speaks of Africa not as a cause, but as a cradle of brilliance waiting to be heard. He's become a cultural diplomat, merging art, business, and activism to remind the world that representation isn't just about who's on screen, but who's behind the camera, on the board, and in the conversation. He's also a fierce advocate for diversity in media, pushing Hollywood to widen its lens. To him, every role he plays is a chance to redefine what power, masculinity, and excellence look like. Whether he's championing sustainable agriculture, co-chairing global summits, or producing films that tell untold stories, Idris Elba's activism isn't performative. It's personal. It's rooted in gratitude, in the boy from Hackney who never forgot where he came from, and who refuses to leave the door closed behind him. He's not just playing heroes on screen, he's empowering them in real life. From the red carpets of Cannes to the fields of Sierra Leone, Idris has proven that legacy isn't measured by awards or wealth, but by the lives you touch and the change you leave behind. Do you think Idris's true legacy will be his films, or the lives he's changed off screen? From Hackney Council flats to Hollywood mansions, from DJ decks to executive boardrooms, Idris Elba's journey has never been about fame. It's been about freedom. He didn't chase the spotlight. He crafted it. In the end, Idris Elba's loudest flex isn't fame. It's peace. His story isn't just a success story. It's a reminder that greatness often speaks in whispers. That luxury isn't what you wear, but how you move. That peace is the loudest flex of all. For Idris Elba, success isn't about being seen. It's about what he builds when no one's watching. He's lived many lives, the actor, the musician, the entrepreneur, the humanitarian. But through it all, one truth remains. He never stopped being the dreamer from East London. Is Idris Elba the blueprint of modern success, or proof that true power comes from balance? Every empire has its rhythm, and Idris Elba's beats between balance and brilliance. From Hackney to Hollywood, from sound waves to silver screens, his story proves one thing. True success isn't about fame, it's about freedom. If you enjoyed this deep dive, make sure to like, subscribe, and turn on the bell, so you never miss the next story from the Black Empire Files, where we explore the empires shaping Black excellence, one legend at a time. And before you go, drop a comment below. Is Idris Elba the blueprint of modern success, or proof that true power comes from balance?